Hello, folks. Thank you again for joining me. On this episode, I want to talk about another AWS security service called Amazon Macie. It's an automated data security and privacy governance tooling within AWS environment. Now, once again, my name is John Kayode Abusi, and my job sits at the intersection of software and product security engineering and architecture. If you are running AWS workload and you are wondering what does this Amazon Macie is all about, it's a fully managed data security and privacy service. While Amazon Inspector look at compute environment like your software and operating system, Macie look extensively at data storages, specifically S3 bucket. So I want us to get that take there. We just finished with Amazon Inspector, and I mentioned that this particular tooling scans your workload, like your EC2 workload, your ECR workload, like your CI/CD workload, and stuff like that. But in the case of Amazon Macie, what it does is that it actually audits your storage services, most especially S3 bucket. So what exactly is it looking for? Macie uses machine learning and pattern matching to automatically discover, classify, and protect sensitive data, such as credit card details, or or passport informations, every maybe PII, HIPAA information, and some other information that are considered sensitive within your environment. So that is what it's looking for. And now how data is classified, Now, to separate normal data from highly confidential information, Macie relies on two types of detection rules. Managed data identifier. These are built in AWS maintained criteria designed to spot standard categories of sensitive information. Right out of the box, they look for PII, like I said, personal identifiable information. They look for financial data, credit card information. They look for PHI, that is HIPAA information. Credentials, accidental test, upload of AWS secret keys. These are the things that Amazon Macie look for. Now, you can also customize your data format, identifier format. Like, okay, if there is anything that look like this, maybe there's a particular format you are using internally. If there's something that look like this, maybe employee, this, dot, this, you can use that radius pattern to say, okay, look for that as well for me. Okay, so what are the core capabilities? S3 bucket inventory and security posture evaluation. Like I said, it scans, look at inventory of all the S3 bucket you're using in the environment, scan through them and see if there are sensitive information that your data within that place. So it continuously evaluate. And sometimes it can look at if, yes, it also has the capability of looking at if those S3 buckets are exposed to the internet, maybe they are publicly available. It can also check if they are encrypted or not, and with the help of Event Bridge, it can automate some actions against those ones that are considered not secure. Then we have dual. Another capability is dual layer sensitive data discovery. What does that mean? It means that execute data classification into two modes: automated sensitive data discovery, which continuously analyzes your S3 bucket, data estate using intelligence sampling to build an interactive cross-account data sensitive heat map, and targeted discovery job, which perform exhaustive, scheduled daily or weekly job. Now, there is in this, under these, dual layer sensitive data discovery, one is that it can keep, continually scan for this kind of exposure. But the other one is that it can be scheduled, maybe just to run for once a week or once in a month to look for this exposure in your environment. But you just have to know that it has that capability of whether it continues actively running to discover those exposure, or you can just do one time or cadence basis scan. So the other thing is regulated data identification via manage and custom identifier. Amazon Macie employs managed data identifier to automatically identify proprietary or regulated data classes. Like I said, it has the capability to 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 see and to say, okay, this data is GDPR data, GDPR data is PCI-DSS data, is HIPAA data. It has that capability and support custom data identifier. Like I said, maybe for a particular standard that is maybe is within your environment alone, or something that is common within your internal development environment or internal workload. That, okay, this is a format that within our environment we don't. Anytime you see this kind of format too, it means that it's sensitive. You can do that kind of customization. A content sensitive data inspection and sampling validation, features native sensitive data sampling retrieval. When a finding is flagged, user can temporarily reveal up to 10 exact test matches or the discovered sensitive data directly inside the Macie console. All samples are cryptographically protected via customer manager KMS to maintain strict data privacy boundaries during validation. So these are the capabilities that you have within AWS Macie. Now, what are the business problems that this solved? Shadow data proliferation and data estate blind spot. That shows that if you have so much of data that you don't even know where exactly they reside, like blind spot, like shadow data, then this is a good tool for you to explore, because it will go all way out to see, to scan your estate bucket storage and give you where exactly those sensitive data that are exposed are. Then the other thing is regulatory compliance and audit feature. Now, this is like you have a standard tooling now and process that continuously, look for exposure in exposure of sensitive data within your workload, and report that in a standard way that auditors can, compliance officers can have access to, and you can see that this is not just one-time stuff, checkbox, is a continuous process that is reliable enough for compliance purpose. Then false positive alert, alert fatigue. Yeah. So suppress high volume noise through allow list and custom suppression rules. Now, what does that mean? It means that it has a capability to say, okay, if something is raised by Macie, like something, after your analysis, and you feel like, okay, this is for one business reason or the other, this is allowed in our environment, you can put it in allow list, and you can suppress it as well, so that it will not be considered exposure of sensitive data. The other thing I want to say about running in production is so that is the business problem they solve. But running into production, these are the best practices you can follow: delegated administrator integration, and automated account onboarding. Now, what does this mean? Now is that you can have a separate AWS account where this tool is enabled, maybe by a security team and used by a security team within your AWS organization. So you have multiple AWS accounts, but the one is dedicated for maybe security, toolings. And when you enable it within this security tooling, now within this account, now it can be used across all other accounts. So it helps that. So you delegated administrator integration and automated account onboarding. So you do that. It allows for that. So cost optimized data classification architecture. Now, because deep content inspection incurs variable data processing fees in dollars, optimize your spend pattern, leverage Macie built-in estimated cost tracking before committing to large, job structure. Now, what I want to say here is that it allows you to streamline your cost management, because when you are scanning a large volume of data, it comes with a lot of financial implication. So one thing you can do, it allows you to streamline that process in a cost-effective way, in such a way that you can say, okay, this is what I want you to scan. This is the scope of maybe workload I want you to kind of focus on. Then maybe for instance, you might not, business wise, you might not be interested in maybe your staging or your QA environment, workload and stuff like that. It's just one production. And even in that production, there are things that carry, that carry sensitive information. You might want to target your Amazon Macie, operation towards those workload. So this allows you to do that. Other thing is serverless event-driven remediation. Like I said, this particular tooling allows it can, it works directly. It can be configured and work directly with Event Bridge for an event-driven remediation. That shows that if something maybe, let me say, if a particular sensitive data is discovered or a particular S3 bucket is open to the internet and there are sensitive information there, without human intervention, you can configure an environment so that an event bridge, operation can kick in and, block that S3 bucket and say, okay, you are no more available, accessible online. So that is possible too. The other thing you want to look out for in production environment as best practices is secure discovery, result escrow, and long-term logging. So for instance, in your Macie environment, you may have like 30 days of everything that comes in that is being discovered. Maybe you want to kind of configure your environment, you reconfigure it and allow for maybe taking it to a new, take the login and the event, maybe to a separate S3 bucket for centralization and for maybe retention, that is beyond 30 days. So these are the things I want to say about production best practices. So in this video so far, I've talked about production best practices. I've talked about capabilities that you can get from this particular tool, and I've talked about business problems that they solve. And yeah, so for me, this is like the thesis and the theory, and highlighting what can be achieved using this tool. And as an architect, security architect, you have to be aware of these toolings, the capabilities, so that they will help you when you're making decisions or maybe you're trading off some. So for the engineering part where we do hands-on, and measure the impact and how we can see whether it's actually giving the result that is expected or not, I will do a more hands-on, environment whereby the video and it will be screen sharing, and I will link that to the bottom of this video. Thank you.